Bom dia a todos, muito obrigado por estarem cá, por terem vindo. Estamos então a dar início à abertura da conferência Steptalks 2019 Software Development and Information Security. Esta vai ser a agenda que eu vou seguir. Portanto, há 3 pontos que eu vou querer que recordem no final desta apresentação. Já vou passar a identificar. É uma honra estar aqui e na Ordem dos Engenheiros que nos permitiu fazer aqui este evento e que nos recebeu tão bem como nosso parceiro, juntamente Step, com a FEUP, com a Tecnal e a Ordem dos Engenheiros. E permitiram tornar realidade este sonho de repetirmos e fazermos uma nova edição do Step Talks. Now I will switch to English because of our honored guests from America, Europe, Asia and Africa. So we are gathered here today to talk about trends in software engineering and information systems by bringing some of the most experienced and knowledgeable speakers that are actually walking the talk, eating the dog food, their own dog food, some brilliant minds. And by this way, this was a very hard choice because in the audience, lots of you have a lot of expertise, experience, and skills and know-how, and you could as well be present here as speakers today. So the know-how that we want to replicate and multiply and amplify and bring more people to these conferences, year and edition after edition, is our goal. So the three takeaways and 3 things to remember that I want you to remember. One is number 10. The second one is why Step Talks 2019. And the third one is that the community is us. We are the community. We are the Step Talks community. We already spoke about the organizers. Thank you so much. And especially thanks for those that came from far away, from Pennsylvania, from Bilbao, from India, and Brazil for the event. And from Portugal, of course, everyone that was on their tight agendas, finding some time to come and share knowledge and talk and meet. It's also about meeting this event. So we're bringing knowledge from different parts of the world, from America CMMI Institute, the CMU, and the SCI, from Europe, from Tecnala, the European Software Institute, ITSMF, and from different universities in Portugal. I will not name them, but you know them, that we have been collaborating. I would like a special applause, if you allow me, to the team that has been working for making this real for the last 1 year. And forgive me if I forgot some photos. We want Step Talks to be an observatory. We want it to be a national observatory of international best practices. And we want to collect data from our partners, from the universities, from the reference institutions, from specialized companies across the globe. And we want to get that and bring it to you. We thank all those that have participated, those institutions that we already mentioned. But we start to challenge you in the audience with the question, how do you assure the quality of your products, of your organization, your company products and or services? How do you do that? Is a question we ask often. And there's a man, Professor Vidal, has brought the book to the University of Porto called What's Humphrey? He was one of the founders of the CMMI, on the CMMM at that time, on the Software Engineering Institute. And What's Humphrey said that the quality of what you are doing, of your products, of your services, depends on the quality of the processes that you are using to produce your products, your services, to evolve those and to manage them. So it's about the process. So other questions that I ask to you, the audience, to our community. What about your organization? Think for a minute with me about your organization. Do you have processes? Are they informal processes? They exist? Do you have written processes? Do you follow your processes sometimes? Or always, or almost never? We have seen all these situations. Is your organization actually growing in maturity, in capability? Are you improving? Do you spend more time on rework, on bug fixing, testing again and again, managing expectations of customers, unsatisfied customers? Or the opposite, you're innovating, you're bringing new things to your customers, to your market, to your end users, bringing new features, bringing added value to the marketplace, and making yourself differentiating. So Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is to do something in one way again and again and again and again and expect different results. So always doing the same way and expecting different results. But some small companies, and also actually large businesses, have no working standards. I'm not even talking about having written processes. Some don't even have reference models that they use, no standards. So what happens? One individual does a task in one way. Another individual does the same task in a totally different way. Imagine, João does in one way, Pedro, myself do it in one way, and then me, the other day, in another project, I do it in a different way. So very inconsistently, very unpredictable, very hard to estimate. But that's not the worst reality. Many organizations, the reality is more like this. Someone does it like this, someone else does it this way, and someone else does it that way. And it's chaotic. And those organizations are relying on superheroes. They're relying on firemen, and the more fires, the more they are awarded, these heroes on those organizations. Okay, this project is bad. I'm taking you out from that project to save this project. That project will start to be on fire. And when they rescue that project, they're heroes. And the more fireman culture you have, the more fires you will have. So, okay, processes can help people, but not processes like this. You don't need a very complex, beautiful, that you cannot use, or people have drawn it once, some illuminated day. They didn't talk to the persons on the ground. They didn't talk to their partners, to their suppliers, to their customers. They have just done it in illumination from the mountain, come down the mountain, and come up with a process. This is not the solution. The solution could be something as simple as IKEA. Has everyone here put up an IKEA furniture? Has any of you tried to do that without following the instructions? Okay, I've done it with my first salary. I was living in Sweden, and of course, there was no IKEA in Portugal at that time, in 2000. I decided, okay, I'm going to, with my salary, go to IKEA, buy a lot of stuff, and go home. I tried to put it together, and I was with a friend, and she said, oh, Pedro, look, the instructions. I was like, I don't need instructions. I am Portuguese. I don't need instructions. So after 20 minutes, I was sweating, red, and embarrassed. And I said, can you show me those instructions, please? I was almost breaking the parts, and it was a very simple furniture. And in 3 minutes, I put the pieces together. So this was one of the biggest lessons in my life. Thank you, IKEA. Okay, so process and standards do help people, but they have to be very simple and usable, and people have to understand them, and they have to be in a communication and in a way that everybody can grab and grasp what value they are bringing. Okay, so while we move on to time scale, we want to improve the quality. So if we are using the right standards and we are doing the plan, do, check, act, like this is common to most methodologies, we are planning, we are improving, we are doing new certification, new standards, improving our processes, etc. That's good. But if the quality manager, the project manager, the CEO, some people change places in the organization, or they are not in the organization, or they're sick, or whatever, this wheel goes down back, not in time, but in quality. So it goes down the quality back to the start. So it's the weakest link. But if you have what we call the standard, it will allow you not to go back, at least to keep there. And in the next initiative and the continuous improvement to try to go up this wheel. So we are sitting here on the shoulders of giants, said Isaac Newton. And we are working on process improvement ourselves, strong step. And remember the number 10, please. We have not reinvented the wheel. So we went across the world to meet the top people on this area. We stayed 1 month when we started in the United States of America, in Pittsburgh and in Washington having training. We went to Bilbao with our partners from Technalia, with the CMMI, now CMMI Institute, at that time SCI. And we worked with ISO organizations for the past 10 years. One question that we have asked ourselves is that if you are not having fun, then you are doing the wrong thing. The work is not supposed to be boring, repetitive, and useless, or giving a sense of useless to the person and working extra hours and weekends. We can improve the work life. We can improve the organizations, the processes, and the technologies, the methodologies. So we are working on that, process improvement, certification, etc., training. And what is the impact? How can we measure, were we successful, were we not successful? How can we measure the impact? So we started these 5 guys going to the United States. 3 of us were sleeping in like a very small apartment. The professors were in a very nice apartment. But we went to meet these top people. Every year we have this trick to build the trust and build the relationship. It was a very simple trick because we were from Porto. We bring Porto wine. So year after year we're bringing a bottle of wine until we actually convinced them to come and do the largest software engineering event in Porto in 2010. So I take the opportunity in this conference to thank all of the persons that are here, and even those that are not here, our partners, the companies that have trusted us, allowing us to work together. So you, to grow together, sometimes to go over obstacles and to suffer together. Yes, suffering is part of the change. The pain is part of the change, and that's half of our work, is actually to help the change. So we're just trying to improve your company, your organization, and make the work world a little bit better, and the world a little bit better too. So you make us better persons. Thank you for demanding so much. That is very good. That you put us to very high challenges. And I want to send love to you from the Strong Step team. I'm just a representative of a team, a wider team, which is here today. So now we have impacted lives of more than 100 companies and more than many of thousands of people. So you can see some of you, some companies maybe you have worked before or you're working now, because this is a very dynamic world, as you know. And we are very, very proud and honored because of you and because of your trust. And that you were brave to do these initiatives to change, because the decision to change takes effort, time, money, psychological effort. So, okay. Also, other impacts that we have worked with the organizations from startups, small, medium organizations like are here, to multinationals with 2,000, 3,000, 180,000 people. Organizations that work for European Space Agency that are here today, for NASA, that have put a robot in the moon, that have worked with the satellites, that have worked with the car infotainment, with healthcare, saving lives, changing the world. So this is our small ripple in the pond. Like when you throw a stone, The people present here are part of this story, and they are the story. It's about you. Okay? So, what about next 10 years? About our community and the next 10 years. We want to keep making the world better, the work world better, improving the people, processes, and technologies. So it's the speakers that will be here today that will illuminate the paths, different paths that you can follow and that you can choose. And then we will see their pains and their obstacles they went through and the difficulties they went through. They have a nice smiles here today, but they've been through a lot to reach this high point and to be here today with us. And what Strong Step has achieved was with you. So we are here to consolidate the community, to bring together the community, to make it stronger, to grow Step Talks and to expand it. And in that context, Step Talks are about sharing. We have half an hour breaks, 1.5 hour lunch. We will have a cocktail of port tonic with jazz live music. So we want you to have fun. We want to wake up the community and keep you updated. So we've just been some weeks ago presenting at the CMMI Capability Conference from the CEO of Kirk Butul is here today. And he will share what he has shared with people from all over the world very soon to illuminate like he has done that to us. We want to welcome more persons to this community. We want more people to trust us and to trust this community. So why Step Talks, you might ask? Somebody said to me, if you bring 100 or 200 people in a room, it might not be a lot of persons, not like 50,000 like Web Summit, but if you consistently bring people with similar passions, similar goals, similar obstacles, together for a number of years, for 10 years, for 20 years, then you are building a community with a shared passion, with shared culture, challenge, problems, goals. And in the case of this community in specific, the Step Talks community, to make the world work better by advancing in best practices. We are the community that participates on what you are motivated on. So you are here because of your passion, because of you're engaged, what you love to do. Maybe as a community we don't move as fast as one company or one institute, isolated, maybe more agile, but we move as a community further and more sustained and connected way with real people meeting in real life here, and we are being transmitted across the world on the internet. And as Professor Vidal said, the familia, the family, la familia, we are the la familia. In the next 10 years, we can change the world a bit. We can make an impact. We have actually had positive impacts. And I thank you for this. So I asked our speakers to have a 10-minute talk, TED style, to engage the audience. And I said, please give us a high-level presentation, not too deep, not too technical. So the audience, you in the audience, can sort out and choose. Well, I like this one. I like that one. You have, all of you have this here. And then you can look further if you want. This is an appetizer, is a starter. Okay? This is going to also be online, all these presentations, and you can assist them again. The goal of this is to make the on-the-edge knowledge accessible and affordable at a walking distance to the community. So Warren Buffett said, and I believe so, that if you want to, the person that is a genius is not the person that is learning with his mistakes, not just with his mistakes, is the one that is able to learn also with the other one's mistakes. So the challenge I have for you in the audience today is to actually Look at what these people have done. Don't lose a whole lot of time. Don't lose a lot of money and pain by doing the mistakes other people have done again and again and again. So build up in the giant shoulders, build up on the knowledge of these people that have climbed hills, they have crossed rivers, they have taken the flag to the mountain top to achieve this high point, to talk about what they achieved here today, which is also an act of bravery, taking into account they are not English native speakers and they are going to speak in English, so please take that in mind and forgive us for our English. We asked these speakers, specialists, what were their challenges, which were their flags, what were they fighting for, what mountain they climbed, what roadmap they did, what was the way, what were the pitfalls, the critical success factors, what were the problems and the challenges they faced, which lessons did they learn, and they would not do again, or they would do again some, and what the next steps and future steps, and these are pointers for the next 10 years. We hope that by sharing these together, that we all grow as a community, and that we all grow in knowledge to make our lives better, yeah, and so make the world better step by step. You all have the program. I'm not going to go through the program. This is the first panel that will be speaking in all these very interesting different topics. In the conference, we will talk about new methodologies, CMMI version 2.0, Industry 4.0. Things are changing a lot, like artificial intelligence, servitization, robotization. The landscape is changing a lot. And the things that you have learned in school and in the university, in 2-3 years, they are worth nothing if you don't continue studying and learning. So we want Step Talks to be as an observatory where you can see where you are standing now. You are standing now, right now. What are the next steps that can be done? You have different passes that we'll see here from different organizations, different challenges, and what your strong steps could be. So take the chance of the 2 break, half an hour and 1.5 lunch to go and speak to the speakers. There will also at the end of the day be an awards, a group of awards for personality of the year. And then we will draw a prize for the audience. This prize you have to leave a card in the ballot back there. There are some IKEA ballots. And you will win a lifelong award if you are lucky. The Ministry of Economy will do the closure of the event, and Professor Raul Vidal will be doing the roundup and maybe telling us about the next 10 years in the resume. So I would like to welcome Kirk Botula, the CEO from CMMI Institute. He's personally responsible for the CMMI version 2.0. In my opinion, the most important standard, the most modern and adaptable model in the world of software and services industry. And the numbers show that. They are leading the way. So we are standing here on the shoulders of giants. And I want you to please welcome Mr. Kirk Botula.